Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Danielle Wheeler, and welcome to Willing Towards Success. So today is our light skin version of colorism. We have Mariah from Hey Black Girl give her dark skin perspective, and now we have my best friend to give her light skin perspective. And we're in this, I guess, really casual setting right now because this isn't like an interview like before. This is like girl talk. Like, this is my friend here. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself and take it away.
Hi everybody, my name is Anayes and I am a journalist over at a online multimedia publication called Hype Fresh, and I am Danielle's light-skinned friend.
I hate when you do that. Okay, so it's basically going to be the same set of questions that I asked Mariah. They might be slightly different because, like I said, this is my best friend, so it's about to get like really personal, I guess. So let's start off with our first question. How would you define colorism, and is it the same as racism?
For me, I think colorism is like prejudice / discrimination against people within the same race who may or may not have the same complexion. So discrimination against people of darker skin tones and discrimination against people of lighter skin tones. And I feel like colorism and racism pretty much are the same. Just because, racism, if you look at the definition, it's discrimination and a prejudice against a certain ethnicity. And if you look at the definition of colorism, yes, it's more prevalent in races who have like different skin tones, but there's still somewhat of a racism. Like, people might not like someone who is a different complexion than them. So I think they kind of cross paths.
Okay. So what other characteristics besides skin tone would you say play into colorism?
Like other attributes?
Yeah.
So I guess, so there's a thing with like, thick versus skinny, or people with straight hair or curly hair, or I know some people say that like light-skinned girls may have big foreheads, or just I don't know, basically just like hair, body type, and
body type. I said the same thing. So what would be like a light skin characteristic that's different from like a dark skin characteristic, but still, in the, let's say, black family?
Well, like I said, some people say light skinned girls have big, broader foreheads compared to women who are dark skinned. I'm not sure how absolutely true that is, but I see that brought up a lot when people describe the two different types of girls.
So you trying to think that big forehead?
I mean, I might have a big forehead.
So, how did your attitude about skin tone develop throughout your life, particularly childhood?
So, for me as a child, I don't feel like I grew up with any certain preference of, skin tones, just because in my family, my dad is light skinned, my mother is brown skinned, my oldest sister is somewhere in between brown skin and light skin. She's like right there in the middle. And then I have another sister who's closest to my complexion. So I kind of grew up just seeing it all. And then, my family is mainly light skinned as well, but I do have, as I said, my mother is brown skinned, my grandfather is dark skinned, I have a few cousins who fall in the darker spectrum of shades. So I never really was used to just one complexion. I was, submerged in all of it. So I didn't see anything wrong with being darker or lighter. I do know that when we go on vacations, I am accustomed to getting tans just because growing up, certain people in my family would be like, oh, I want to get darker, I don't want to be pale. So I guess that kind of got instilled in me a little bit at a young age, because today when I go on vacation to, let's say, a beach or something, I bring my suntan lotion because I want a darker complexion. I like to tan during the summer just because I don't know, I guess I do have a certain goal to just be darker for a certain part of like a period throughout the year. And I feel like everybody, when they're younger, you learn color and you learn that you're different than other people. And I feel like girls who may be darker, or even guys who are darker, and girls and guys who are lighter, I feel like they get teased in school just because somebody might think they're too dark, or somebody might think, oh, you're light skinned, so is your family white? Like, you're the same color as this piece of paper. Like, I feel like kids just, no matter what shade you are, you do go through a period of just being mocked for what you look like. I experienced that a little bit, but it was nothing to the point where it made me hate myself. I love the color. I love my complexion. Even if I want to get a little darker throughout the summer, I would never want to do something to permanently change how I look.
I like that. And trust me, I used to hate being in Florida while they tan. That used to annoy me. Like, oh my gosh, how long does this take?
I'm sorry to put you through.
Okay, so going back to what you just stated, like, how do you think that has influenced your friendships, even up to now? I know you went to college, you have your circle of friends, and then you have, going back to childhood, you have those circle of friends. So how would you think what you just stated, your perspective, played a role into developing these friendships throughout your life?
I don't think it played a role in my friendships at all. I never looked at another girl and was like, oh, she's 5 shades too dark, she's not going to be my friend, or oh, this girl is light skinned like me, we're going to be besties. Like, I never picked a friend based off of that. I like to choose friends based off of personality and skin deep attributes rather than what you look like on the outside. My friends today they come in a variety of colors, so it never really influenced me when it came to that. And if I do meet someone, or if I do have a friend and I hear them complain about, oh, I'm this or I'm that, I'm too dark, or it bothers me, because I don't see my friends as being the definition of, like unattractive or unwanted or ugly. So it bothers me if I were to hear one of them communicate that with me, or just openly. But yeah, it's never really played a big role in my friendship.
So now we're gonna dive a little deeper into the questions about colorism, and what role does social media play in perpetrating colorism, and how do you contribute to it?
All right, so social media is weird, definitely super weird, and I know that because I have social media. I'm a very active member on Instagram, Twitter, all of those sites. I work for a company whose main resource is social media to get the stories that we do. So I definitely do think that social media influences colorism, and I think that to understand it, you have to think about how it started. And in my opinion, I think it started with slavery. I think that when they separated the slaves based off of their skin tones, like house slaves were typically lighter and field slaves were typically darker. So I feel like over the years, that's something that we've kind of been programmed to subconsciously remember. And social media, in my opinion, does a really good job of perpetrating that, whether they mean it or not. Because if you look at people that you follow or certain companies or brands, when they promote a piece of clothing like a new shirt or something, who do you normally see it on? You see it on someone who's white, someone who's Asian, or someone who's light-skinned. You very rarely see someone like, for instance, the model Ducky Fox. She's dark-skinned. You very rarely see people advertising their products with someone of that complexion. And I think that's just because people or these companies or these brands just favor lighter skin tones. And because starting with slavery, that's just how we've been programmed to think that one color is superior or more attractive than the other one. So that's what I think social media does with colorism. For me personally, in my line of work, I try to steer clear away from that because I understand that there's a lack of inclusion when it comes to social media. So when I'm writing a story and I have to attach an image to it, the last person that I look to include in that image is someone who's Asian or someone who's white, just because I think they oversaturate the social media market. So I'll go for someone who is a minority and has a darker skin tone, or maybe someone who is light skinned, just because they fall within the realm of the Black community. And I don't think that the Black community as a whole is something that you see a lot more often than someone who's white. So I definitely try to make sure that at least I do it, and I promote our beauty in whatever I do. So stay tuned to part 2.
This heart of mine will always